There was a time when Ao believed love could conquer anything. That no matter what life threw at him, no matter how loud, how hard, the love he shared with Ada would stand strong. But life has a way of testing the things we believe in most. Back then, Lagos was alive. Not just alive, it pulsed. A city that never slept, where dreams were louder than traffic, and every corner had a story waiting to be told. Ao was a young man with purpose. Sharp, ambitious, hungry for success. The kind of man who saw life not as it was, but as it could be. Ada was his balance. The quiet artist with colors in her soul and calm in her eyes. While he chased numbers and deals, she painted sunsets and memories. She didn't speak much, but when she did, her words always found their way into his heart. Together, they were magic. Two words that shouldn't have met, yet somehow, they did. Ao used to say, "You're my peace in the noise." And Ada would smile, replying softly, "And you are my reason to dream." They built a world out of hope. A small apartment in Surrey filled with laughter, paint stains, and promises whispered under flickering lights. They had little, but they had each other, and that was enough. At least, it used to be. Then came success. Quiet at first, like a whisper in the dark. Then louder, until it became all Ao could hear. Late nights turned into early mornings. Calls went unanswered. Birthdays forgotten. The little things that once mattered, slowly faded away. Ada tried. Oh, she tried. She waited up for him, painting by candlelight, hoping to hear his footsteps on the stairs. But most nights ended the same, silence. Sometimes he came home too tired to talk. Sometimes he didn't come home at all. And when he did, it was like she was looking at a stranger wearing the face she once loved. Ao told himself it was temporary, that he was doing it all for them. For their future. For the life he promised her. But love doesn't wait forever. One evening, as rain fell softly against their window, Ada sat by her easel, painting something he never saw. A woman by a window, waiting. Waiting for someone who never came. That night, she packed her brushes. Her canvases. And the pieces of her heart that still belonged to him. When Ao came home, she was gone. No fight. No letter. Just silence. He told himself she'd come back. That after success came, after the company grew, after the deals closed, he'd find her again. But success came. And Ada didn't. Years passed. Lagos became too small for Ao's dreams. Abuja called, calm, organized, and full of opportunity. He rose fast. From a young executive to the man everyone wanted to know. The city respected him, his name opened doors, his signature sealed millionaire contracts. He had it all. The car. The mansion in Asokoro. The tailored suits. The kind of life people prayed for. But when the city went quiet at night, when the lights dimmed and the laughter faded, his heart whispered one name. Ada. He tried to move on. He really did. He dated women who laughed easily, who smiled beautifully, but none of them looked at him the way Ada once did. None of them understood his silence. None of them saw him. So he buried himself in work again. Until one morning, while flipping through an event brochure on his desk, he froze. Company art exhibition, featured artist, Ada Williams. For a long time, he just stared at the page. The letters blurred. It couldn't be coincidence. That evening, he went to the exhibition. Not as the powerful CEO everyone bowed to, but as a man haunted by what he'd lost. He stood before one of her paintings. A woman by a window. Eyes distant. Waiting. It was the same painting she had been working on that last night in Lagos. He didn't need to ask, he knew what it meant. It was their story. Then, a voice behind him. Soft. Calm. Familiar. I didn't think you'd remember this piece. He turned. And there she was. Ada. Older. Wiser. Beautiful, not in the way she once was, but in a way that came from peace. From healing. His throat tightened. How could I forget something that once felt like home? Ada smiled faintly, not bitterly, just softly. The past has its place, Ao, she said. I've learned to leave it there. He nodded, but the ache in his chest refused to fade. That night, sleep didn't come. He thought about her voice, her calmness, the way she looked at him, not with anger, but distance. It hurt more than hate ever could. Days passed. Then weeks. And somehow, Ao found himself showing up where she was. Her art studio in Metoma. Her small exhibitions. Even the quiet cafe where she loved to sketch. He didn't beg. He didn't make promises. He just showed up, quietly, consistently. He watched her paint. Listened when she spoke. And when she didn't, he simply sat, saying nothing. At first, she tried to ignore him. But slowly, his presence began to feel familiar again. Not intrusive. Just steady. He had changed. He wasn't the man chasing the world anymore. He was just Ao. The man who used to hold her hand under streetlights in Sorale. The man who once whispered that her heart was his favorite home. One evening, as the sun set over Abuja, painting the sky in gold, Ada asked softly. Why now, Ao? Why after all these years? He looked at her, eyes tired, voice quiet. Because I built everything, Ada, except happiness. I thought success would fill the emptiness you left, but every victory just reminded me I'd lost the only thing that ever mattered. Ada's eyes glistened. She wanted to believe him. But scars don't disappear just because someone says I'm sorry. She turned away. People change, Ao. And love, sometimes it doesn't wait. He stepped closer, gently taking her hand. Then let me prove that mine did. Weeks turned into months. And slowly, very slowly, their story began to breathe again. Not with the fire of old love, but with the quiet warmth of understanding. They walked through her art gallery hand in hand. Laughed again over memories they once buried. And found peace in the spaces between words. Ada began to paint new things. Brighter things. Not of waiting, but of becoming. And for Ao, it was the first time in years that the world felt right. He didn't care about titles anymore. He cared about moments. The quiet laughter. The shared silence. The chance to start again. One night, standing on her balcony overlooking the Abuja skyline, Ada leaned against him. The city lights shimmered below. The wind carried soft whispers between them. And Ao, with all the calm in his heart, said, Maybe this time, Ada, I won't chase the world. Maybe I'll just chase you. She smiled, not with words, but with tears. And in that moment, forgiveness didn't seem so far away. Because sometimes, love doesn't end. It just waits, quietly, for the right hearts to find their way back home. The Abuja Reckoning. A story written and told in the tales_by_Faye voice. Because even in a city built on ambition, some hearts still remember what truly matters.